Actor, comedian, Norm Macdonald, the pride of Quebec. Host of the podcast, Norm Macdonald Live. You'll see him in Austin, Texas. That'll be coming up in June. And Aspen, Colorado. The Belly Up in Aspen, Colorado on July 5th and 6th. Big sports fan, Norm Macdonald back on the show. And you do a lot of tweeting, Norm. You watch a lot of sports.
Yeah, I love sports, man. Hey, Dan, I heard you old boys talking about Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
I thought I'd share a tale about him with you.
Okay.
I went to see him at here in Los Angeles because Merle Haggard was opening for him, you know.
Okay.
And I'm just an old chunk of coal, and I like Merle. So I was there for Merle, but I stayed for Bob Dylan, and he was kind of it was like you were saying, you couldn't understand what songs he was singing. And but anyways, halfway through the concert, all of a sudden, because he doesn't talk to the audience or something, all of a sudden he started talking to the audience. And he said, Ringo, 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 about 45 times. So everyone was sort of in shock. And finally, a light went into the audience, and it was Ringo Starr was sitting there with some lady. And then he's all uncomfortable. He's like, Ringo. So he said it about 12 more times.
Did you meet him?
Bob Dylan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him. What happened was, I was going to finish my Ringo story.
Oh, I'm sorry, Norm. I'm sorry. Ringo.
Ringo. So anyways, he said, Ringo, like a whole bunch of times. And then he said, any songs you want to hear, Ringo? And then Ringo Starr said, I don't know. Do you know any Bob Dylan songs?
Do I?
For this story?
Yeah.
Yeah, so name one.
Tangled Up in Blue.
Yeah, so he said, Ringo goes, well, how about Tangled Up in Blue? He goes, I already did that one.
He just didn't understand that he was doing Tangled Up in Blue.
No one understood anything. But, I did meet him, but I don't know him because I'm into country. I'm into outlaw country. So I was there for Merle.
Yeah, I like Merle.
You like Merle?
Yeah. I like Waylon.
Oh, God, you like all the guys I like. My best friend is Billy Joe Shaver. He wrote Honky Tonk Heroes for all those boys. And, Waylon, Willie.
And the boys.
All those boys. There's some new guys on the horizon. There's Hank the Third. But most of this country has turned into stuff Michael Sam would listen to.
Well, careful here.
What? No, I mean, I enjoy seeing a guy kissing another guy, as much as the next feller. But I'm just glad he wasn't picked in the first round.
You're not sure what would happen?
Well, it may have been full-on insertion.
He's Norm Macdonald, I think, still with us, the actor, comedian.
Yeah, I'm here, man.
You do a great job of always making me uncomfortable. When you hosted the ESPYs that one time?
Oh, you were there. I remember that.
Oh, my God. You had jokes, but they weren't directed at me. I was uncomfortable, and they weren't even directed at me.
Yeah, I have this thing where I don't even know when I do bad, but that happens to me a lot. I come off, I go, hey, that went pretty well, right? They're like, well, everyone left. I'm like, oh.
But when you go to these places, the Belly Up in Aspen, Colorado.
Oh, yeah, the Belly Up.
Okay. What are you working on when you do? Is there always, because comedians always say, oh, well, I'm going in there working on material. Or are you just rehashing material?
Well, I don't do a comedy I don't televise my comedy. So I've only done like one special. I did a special a couple of years ago. Did about an hour special. But I have like so much material. I have nine or 10 hours of material. So what I do now is I just talk to a crowd the entire time. And anything they bring up, I have material on.
Oh, so you leave it up to them?
Yeah, I just have a discussion with them.
Oh, look at you!
Yeah, it's like you. You have a discussion with your
my Danettes,
your listeners, your Danettes. What do you call them?
The Danettes.
Yeah.
Are you up for this Craig Ferguson job to take over for him, or are you the one starting the rumor that you're up for Craig Ferguson's job?
Oh, neither.
Well, so you're not up for it.
No, I'm not up for it.
Oh, okay.
Nor have I started anything. what happened was I just I tweet and then I talked to my followers. I mean, I don't want to sound like the pale Nazarene, but I have a lot of followers.
How many followers do you have?
Oh, good God! It must be into the hundreds of thousands.
Really?
Yeah, but
the most famous follower you have.
Many of them don't care for me.
You're following them.
Yeah.
Who's the most?
You go like, "Hey guys, what's going on today?" And then they're like, "You son of a bitch." But I started tweeting sports, and then that'll bleed followers. That'll bleed followers.
But you're doing live golf play-by-play, Norm.
Yeah, I do live any live sport, but I like live golf the best because golf is the greatest sport of all. Man versus man versus himself, man versus nature. You know what I mean, Dan?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Since you told the Dylan story and it was okay, can you salvage this by telling the Bill Cosby story?
Oh, one time I met the great Waylon Jennings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some stupid publicist lady. I'm like, oh my God, I would love to just talk to Waylon Jennings for a moment because I had a great story about him. Because when I was young, my dad would play Waylon Jennings for me, and it was kind of important to me. So I wanted to tell Waylon Jennings the story. So this publicist lady goes, I'm sure he'd love to meet you too. I'm like, no, he doesn't know who I am. Like, she's like, yeah, I bet he does. I'm like, no, he doesn't. I'm like, petrified that she's going to wreck it. And then, sure enough, I'm standing in the back, looking as he finishes his set, and he comes out, and you see this lady talking to him, and he's like, why? He's like, huh? She's like talking to him in his ear. He's like, oh, why? What? And I'm like, oh my God! Like obviously she's telling him my biography, So he comes off the stage, and I have this big thing I have memorized to say to him, this big touching story about me and my dad, and I'm like, so I go, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Jennings. And he goes, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've enjoyed you on late night television and also in the situation comedies. And then he takes off.
Do they write off your IMDb?
Yeah, direct everything.
All right, tell the Bill Cosby story.
Bill Cosby. I met Bill Cosby as my hero and stuff. So I was opening for him, and I try to make this short, but
okay.
I was opening for him, and he said, I said, when I was young, you were my favorite comic, and I listened to you with my dad. He goes, where do you live? I go, what? I go, well, my dad lives in Ottawa. He goes, I think I'm going to Ottawa. He had a guy with him. He goes, Herb, when am Ottawa? And so Herb goes, yes, he understands everything Cosby says, even though Cosby just uses nouns at this point. And so he says, yes, we're in Ottawa in August. And he goes, man's father, Ottawa. And he goes, yeah, yes, definitely. We'll get him back stage. Yes, Mr. Cosby. He says, yes, we will take him to the stage into the back, and the man will have, and we will give him the man's father. And so he's writing it down, And then he says, the man has to become the phone number for the man. So then he gives me a piece of paper, to write down my dad's phone number.
Yeah.
And then he says, the man needs pen with paper with pen. So then the guy gets a pen. So then at that point, I remember my dad has been dead for 15 years. So but I didn't want to tell him. I didn't want to say, oh, yeah, my dad's dead, and then ruin the fun moment. So I just wrote down, I knew the Ottawa area code, and then I wrote down 7 random digits. So Bill Cosby, what will have the man? And all this. So I go, thank you, and we leave. Then 6 months later, I was doing this little guest shot on the Drew Carey show, and I get a phone call, and it also shows you how powerful these guys are, that they can somehow find you. Yeah. But the stage manager runs up and goes, Bill Cosby's on the phone. I go, what? So I go over, I go, hello? He goes, yes, the man is not at the phone. And I go, what? he goes, the man, I phoned the man, and your father was not the man, was the father. And I go, oh, yeah, no, that's the number. I'm just going to continue lying. Anyway.
So you're staying with
He
him.
was very, very sweet.
Oh, the man, he probably still thinks your dad's alive.
Yeah, he's probably still trying to contact him.
Before I let you go, did you date Julia Roberts?
Listen, Dan, a feller doesn't...
No, dating doesn't, tell me anything other than maybe you went out and had dinner. Did you date Julia Roberts?
I've met her.
Have you kissed her?
Oh God, man! What kind of filth is this?
Wait, look what you said earlier in this interview, and I'm filth because I said, "Did you make out with Julia Roberts?"
Oh my God! Now you see how you keep pushing it up. You keep wanting more.
I'll take that as a yes.
Nah, listen, she's a sweet lady.
Did you love her?
What?
Did you love her?
Are you? Pretty soon you're going to be asking me if I laid down with her. Good Lord.
Did you love her?
Oh my God! You remind me of?
No.
You remind me of a young, I don't know, a young Ring Lardner.
Ring Lardner. Oh, that's playing to my demo here. Come on, Noah.
You remind me of a young W.C. Hines.
Hey, good luck with trying to replace Craig Ferguson there.
I'm not trying nothing, buddy.
Okay, all right.
Listen, if
grassroots.
If nominated, I will not serve.
Oh, you're turning down the job.
What is it? If nominated, I will not run. If elected, I will not serve. Who said that?
Ring Lardner.
Hey, remember when we played golf at Shadow Creek?
With Cato Kalin?
Yeah, that's where I met you, man. That was awesome.
I want to do that again. I'd like to play golf with you again.
Oh, man, that'd be great. Me and you and Shadow Creek with the...
And you know what? I'll have Bill Cosby call you, and we'll set this up.
Hey, you having Sandler on the show?
Yep, tomorrow.
Oh, man, that's great. I think you'll be the first. Oh, no, it was me. I had him on yesterday.
Norm?
What?
Thank you.
Thanks, pal.
Norm Macdonald.